YouTube, what's going on? So I have a lot of stuff that I'd like to show in this video. I'll try to keep it under a half hour. Um, I've been really busy the last couple months. I've had so much stuff going on between moving and just a bunch of other stuff. And I've kind of taken a break from the dioramas. I have been kind of taking up a new branch off of the hobby, which is weathering cars. And so like the 510 here, the Winnebago trailer here, which we'll take a closer look at in a minute. The BMW 2002, gave this a little weather touch up. Square body. I've done, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 cars. And in a lot of cases, not all, but I'd say most cases, I like the way that they come out. I think they look better because I think that, a truck like this is a more realistic look for just in general, I think. And it's definitely a more realistic look for my dioramas. And so it's been a little bit of a learning process. Like you can see on this truck, this was when I very first started doing it. I would mask the windows with Play-Doh, and it works, but it's not a very clean masking. So I switched and I started masking with Tamiya masking tape, which is Tamiya products. You know, my whole life I've used just standard like 3M masking tape and Krylon spray paint for like building model cars and stuff like that, and just would never get good results. I'd never get straight edges. The paint just never seemed like it would it just never seemed good. And since doing this, I use Tamiya products. I go through probably, I've been going through a can of this a week. It's TS80 flat clear. It's amazing stuff. I bought, because this is really hard to find in my area, I bought a can of the Krylon. I bought a can of this, which is also a matte finish, and it sucks. It's just not good. It's not a flat finish. There's a little bit of a shimmer to it. But this is not in vain. I will use this for my trees. I have a new method of making trees that is amazing, I think. I think the trees look phenomenal. Now, these trees are not made with that method. I came up with that method and purchased those materials after this diorama was made. So I may take this tree out. I may actually take all these trees out and add my new ones. So that can will get used for that. But also, I got a can of this, which is Testers. This is a gloss coat. And this isn't glossy at all. But I used the TS30 from Tamiya. I've used this for a long time to spray paint my wheels silver. I don't like black wheels in 1:64 scale. And this is amazing stuff. Like, you can spray your wheels with this, and an hour later you can put the tires on, and there won't be any paint removal. So it's just really good quality stuff. And I ended up getting a can of the TS29, which is a semi-gloss black. But I want to get a can of gloss black, and I want to get a can of white, because there are some vehicles where I think white wheels would look good. The reason that I purchased the semi-gloss black, I'll show you here with this Ram ProMaster here. So this van, I wanted to make it a passenger van. And so I taped it off with Tamiya tape. You can see how clean the edges are. and that's just from using Tamiya tape. Um, Now it's not as glossy as I'd like it to be. I wanted the Tamiya gloss coat, but he was sold out. So I got the testers, and as you can see here, it's just not that good. But for as far as the model goes, I think it's a decent looking passenger van, considering that there isn't one of these available in 1:64 scale. This is the only way to do it. I don't know if Greenlight has plans of releasing this as a passenger van at any point. The casting lines are there. It would just require either like a tampo, or they could retool it and cut the windows out. Greenlight historically has used tampos for windows on vans, the old Dodge van, as well as campers. So it wouldn't be the first time that they have done it if they do decide to do it. And I think it looks pretty good. I wouldn't mind seeing the Ford Transit as a passenger van. I like the ProMaster as a passenger van. I like the cargo vans too, but it's just cool to have options, and especially if you're a van enthusiast, because all the 1:64 scale vans that are out there are older, more classic models. So I used the Tamiya paint for the windows on this, and here's another. Oh, she fell over. That's all right. I'm gonna move this truck now. Actually, I'll move that off of there. She can sit down on the curb. And selfie lady can stand up. So this is another example here of a car that I weathered. And I really just, so the the process is you tape the windows off with Tamiya masking tape, and then you spray paint the entire thing with the Tamiya clear coat. You do the wheels, the tires, the front end of the car, the back end. In this case, I did the light bar. All of it got a matte clear coat. And then I take Tamiya Weathering Master. I have a couple of these. So this is, I have A, and I don't know what the other one I have is, but it's got gray, orange rust, and deck tan. So just different shades of brown. But these things are so awesome. It's I don't know if it's an oil base. There's something in there, some kind of bonding agent in there, but it's a pigment powder and a little foam makeup applicator, and the result that you get is, I think it's pretty good, especially if you're more artistic than I am. But then once you're done applying all of the pigment, you spray it again with the matte clear coat, and that locks everything down. So I can handle this car, you can feel how smooth it is, very smooth to the touch. Feels like it came out of the factory with the weathering job. And so, if you want to take a brand new car and make it look like it's been driven, this is a good way to do it. I don't drill the cars. That's one nice thing. They're still factory spun. But, I mean, look at the rust effect you get on the chrome bumpers from this stuff. It's a very, very easy to use material. And for me, I focus on mostly rocker panel, front and rear quarter panels, especially towards the undercarriage, and then mostly just along the edges. I'll emphasize like all of the edges of the car. So there's that one. Here's a better look at the square body. I did not go very heavy on this one, but this to me is an awesome look. I think this just looks very convincing. And again, there's the rusty bumper. The wheels and tires are also weathered with the pigment and sprayed with the clear coat to lock it all in. So very cool. The square bodies for me are the easiest ones to do because I don't know why. I think it's probably just the lines. Here's another square body. You know, after I did the red one, I had this one sitting there, and I thought, wow, that one would look really good if it came out as good as the red one. But you have to be careful because not all colors are good, are easy to work with the weathering pigment, especially metallic colors. But this one came out really good too. I thought, sorry for the shaky camera. The tires, I weathered the tires on this one a little bit lighter color. But yeah, I think this looks really good. And there's the top. I mean, it just looks like an old weathered truck. And the cool thing about the Weather Master from Tamiya is you can do it as light or heavy as you want. This 510 was I think this was the second car that I did. So I'm not happy with the way this one came out. If I were to do this car today, I think it would look much better because I think it's really overdone. And I really wanted a post-race look. And I think this is beyond a post-race look, but still cool. I still think it's a cool looking car to have it weathered like this, where it's not, you know, you see some people do this and they just completely overdo it. And I think for me personally, I'd rather underdo it than overdo it. Here is a Konami that I did, the Toyota Starlet. This is an expensive casting. It's very hard to find. But the main reason why I did this car is because the clear coat that was on it was starting to crack. And I thought this would be a way to protect it a little bit longer. And so I thought, yeah, what the heck? I like the look better of a car that looks like it's been owned and driven. So, you know, I like the used car look better than the brand new car look. Here's one that came out really good. I got a lot of comments and compliments on this one. Now, this is a Greenlight snowplow on the front. That's an Autoworld truck. And very simple, you know, it only takes about 20 to 30 minutes to do this. You tape up the windows, you spray it with the matte clear, and then you just weather it, you know. And one of the colors I have is it's a gray color. It looks blue. It looks like a bluish, here I'll show you. It looks like a bluish silver in the container. It's the one on the right there. But it's a great color if you're looking to like take away the paint to almost make it look like it's worn down to the metal. And I did that pretty heavy along the edge of the fender there, as well as the panel line there. And then the stuff at the bottom is just rust and dirt. I do the wheel wells, and again, also the wheels and tires. You got to make sure you do the entire truck because you don't want any one particular part of the truck to look like it's immaculately brand new. So it's also important when you're spray painting it with the clear coat that you get good coverage, because if you don't, the gloss coat from underneath is going to show through. The hood on this, I think, came out really nice. The front end, the front end in general, I think, came out really nice, and I had to weather the blade as well, which that was a piece of plastic, and for some reason it just didn't take the pigment quite as well as the metal does. But here's the other side. Wheels and tires. It's just an awesome looking truck in my opinion. It's pretty convincing. You get these Autoworld castings weathered up. If you do a nice job on them, they look so convincing because the castings are so well done. The last Autoworld car that I have, well, no, I have two more. I have this Pontiac Grand Prix. This was one of the first cars that I did, so I think it's one of those cars, if I were to do it today, it would probably be a little bit better. But I don't think it looks bad. You know, I just focused on the edges on this one. You know, it's just an old drivable car with some rust issues. And then the wheels and tires on this. I think weathering these wheels and tires brought a lot of the detail out, in my opinion. Here's the last Autoworld car that I have out. Now, I have not taken a close look at this one since I did it. I just did this the other day. It's actually the last car that I weathered. And the reason I chose this car is because if you look at the A-pillar is bent, and it came that way out of the package. So I thought, well, it was basically a defective casting, and I thought a weathered look would look really good, in particular with the bent A-pillar. So I think this one looks pretty good too. It, rusty, drivable. But here's an example of metallic paint. When you spray the Tamiya matte, the metallic paint still shows through. It just doesn't have a gloss to it. But Autoworld's metallic paint in particular, because I also did an Olds 442, it really makes the rust look, I think, look more authentic. Like if you look here, see if I can get a focus on this. If you look here at the rear quarter panel, that surface rust, in my opinion, is just so much more believable. And then like on the back here, you look up towards the window, even the bumper. I don't know, I just think this one came out really nice. The canvas part of the top is all roached out. Got some rust up here by the windshield. That's something I try not to do. Like you see how you have a little build up there. I definitely don't want to do that. That was just a little sloppy on my part. Now those pigments are made to do it that way. Like you can build up like a rust surface to where it's textured. You can also do it as sand or dirt. It's designed to do that. And then once you lock it down with the clear coat, you should be good to go. But personally, that's just not really the look that I'm going for. So there's the Autoworld Caddy. This Winnebago, this Winnebago camper, I think came out really nice because it's done, you know, to me, it's not overdone, but also doesn't look like it's underdone, in my opinion. And here's another example of Greenlight using tampos for windows. And that's why, personally, I think if done right, stuff like this is believable. But yeah, this was brand new, super glossy. Even just giving this the flat clear coat made it look a lot better, in my opinion. I rusted up the propane tanks. You can see all of this weathering and rust on this was added by me. It was completely brand new before I started. I really should have done a before and after on this one, because of everything I've done, this is one of the better ones that looks a lot like it would come this way from Greenlight. Now, I did tape off the windows on this, even though they're painted, because it's a gloss black paint, and I wanted the glass to still have that shine, that glass look to it. So I did tape those off. But yeah, I think this one came out nice. Just looks like an old camper. Let's see here. I did a Johnny Lightning. I like the way this one came out too, although I think it's another one of those. If I were to do it again today, I think it would be a lot better. But the other thing about this, I want to get, there's a Tamiya that I think it's on back order right now, but it's got white for snow, and then it has a rust color, and then it has a soot color, and that's what I want. I want a black or like a charcoal. The darkest thing I have right now is a mud color, and sometimes on some colors it shows up really yellow, or it'll show up like orangish brown, like what you see here. So anyways, let's see. Gotta hurry up here. Tomica Limited Vintage. This one here, I did not want a weathered look. I was going for more of a dusty look. Although, you know, I wasn't like going for like rust or anything like that, but weathered paint, something, you know, that the sun has taken the clear coat off and it's been down some dusty roads. That's what I was going for with this Tomica Limited Vintage. Got to be careful. You can see here what that clear coat does to the lens headlights. I probably should have taped those off. But overall, very happy with the result of that car. Here's a closer look at the Shuco Bmw 2002. This was another very early car that I did. Although I don't think if I were to do this one today, I don't think it would be a whole lot better than what this one is. This one is pretty good. It's pretty much the right amount of grime for what I was looking for. I might, if I were to do this again, I might go a little bit more rusty on the chrome up in the front, but overall, I'm happy with the way that came out. This is an old Crown Vic. Thought I'd try my hand at one of these. And I kind of do like the way this one came out. I think it's nice to have a brand new shiny option as well as a weathered, rusty example. I think the last four here are probably the most popular. This one here might be my favorite of all of them, of every car that I've done. This is a Ford Bronco from Greenlight. Now I did wheel swap this. I put some bigger wheels and tires on it. The rust on this I think just came out really nice. Basically starting from the front, the wheel wells, There was a tampo flaw there from the factory, so I figured I would touch that up with some rust. The rear wheel well here, I think that looks really good. There were some other issues with this. Sorry, I got the phone going off there. Really bad tampo issues, and that's why I used this particular casting for this. I have since found 2 more of these, so I have 4 of these. I have 4 of them mint in the package and two of them loose. I have this one, and I have one that's only been wheel swapped. But the spare tire cover, I think, looks so much better weathered. It just, it looks like it's been in the sun for a while. And I glue the tops on. That's something else I do. Even on the ones I don't weather, I don't like these tops being loose, so I always glue those on. But yeah, I think this one came out really nice. It's probably my favorite of all of them if I had to choose. I'm thinking about doing another one of these and doing a giveaway, but I'm not sure on that yet. This is going to be a really hot casting. At some point in the future, this is going to be a very sought-after, desirable casting because of the livery. Mark my words on that. Okay, so here is a Dodge Ram Charger. There's a lot going on with this. So this comes in the package with a trailer hitch, which I still have. It also came with the snowplow that was on this one here. So this snowplow actually came from this truck. Now, I love this casting from Greenlight. However, the stock stance on it leaves a lot to be desired. And the last few times Greenlight's released it, the quality control has been really poor in general, but also with the top. In this case, the top was a translucent red. You could see through the top. And that bugged me. And so one of the first things I did is I painted the inside of the top with a flat black, just a cheap paint that I got from Walmart. And I did that so that you wouldn't be able to see through it. Then I glued the top down. Like I told you, I do that on all these. Then after I did that, I lifted it with aluminum tubing, and then I wheel swapped it. And that's how it was for probably a year and a half. And then when I started weathering stuff, I thought, man, that Ram Charger would look killer if it were weathered. And this was one of the first 4 or 5 cars that I did, and I think it's also one of the better results. I probably could have done a little bit better job on that tire tread on the spare, but overall I think this thing came out awesome. It looks so much better like this than it did in my opinion. And I know some of you don't like weathered cars, and it's just personal preference. Me personally, I like stuff that looks as close to real as possible. And weathered cars is just a reality. For all you K5 Blazer fans, this was another very early one that I did. This was back when I was masking with Play-Doh. This would look much better had I masked it with Tamiya tape. But I still like the way this came out. I think it's a really cool looking truck. And the tires on it look really good. By the way, since doing this, I've learned the best tires without question, as far as like detail go, are these, in my opinion, it's these Goodyear Wrangler all-terrains from Johnny Lightning. The tire tread, the tread pattern is very, very detailed. And when you weather these tires, that becomes very noticeable. So these tires here don't look terrible, but They say Firestone, but the tread pattern actually looks like BF Goodrich all-terrain. This is just another cool weathered truck. Rusty bumper. So there's that, and then the last one is another K5 Blazer. This is another one that I lifted with aluminum tubing. The last one, the blue one here, this one came with a factory lift from Greenlight. But this one here didn't, and this truck looks like crap when it's not lifted. I don't remember where these tires came from, but I think it was a Chevy wheel accessory pack. In my opinion, these are the best looking wheels you can find for this particular truck. And yeah, I think this one came out pretty good as well. This one I did use tape to mask the windows. That's why the windows look a lot better than the blue one. And then the last one that I have out, I almost forgot, the Grumman long life vehicle here, mail truck. This one was kind of tricky taping off these quarter windows here, but I got it done. Give it a matte clear coat, and this one was pretty difficult to do because I definitely didn't want to overdo it, but I definitely wanted a mail truck that looks like it's been in service for decades. These LLVs have been in service since the early 90s, and they were only designed to last 10 or 15 years. So they're getting to the point where they're almost doubling their life expectancy. These things are incredibly durable. The testing that they had to go through when the post office, when Grumman got the contract on it, which they teamed up with General Motors for, the testing was extremely rigorous on the vehicle, the suspension, and it wasn't an easy. The testing wasn't easy. So if you can get your hands on one of these, it would be a great vehicle for like a, like a zombie apocalypse or something like that. Turn it into an urban assault vehicle. Put a 50 cal on top. You could live out of it. It'd be a cool little van life type of a thing because they're just indestructible. So, I don't know. I think it looks good. It doesn't look brand new. It looks like it's been used. That's kind of what I was going for. So that's pretty much it. That's what I've been up to. Not a lot of diorama stuff, although I sold my parking lot diorama, and I think I'm getting ready to get back into it. I just grabbed, by the way, here's the Tamiya masking tape. That's what I use, 6mm. The width of this tape is almost spot on for the windows. Occasionally you have to double them up, and sometimes you have to cut it down a little bit, but most of the time it's a perfect fit. But I found some of this stuff today at the hobby shop, and I couldn't believe he had this in stock. This stuff is not commercially available here in the United States, and there aren't even really any suppliers in the U.S. for this. This is Noch. And I don't know, it's all German or Belgium, but what it is it's HO scale leaves. And by themselves, they're not good for much, but with the other materials that I have, with the seafoam and the coarse turf, along with some spray adhesive, you can make some incredible looking trees. So when I saw that he had this for $8, this is like $15 to $20 on eBay because it ships from Europe. So I was real happy to get that. But anyways, that's about it, guys. Ran a little bit longer than what I was hoping. That's pretty much what I've been up to. I feel like I need to probably lay off a little bit with the weathering of the cars. I don't want my entire collection to be weathered. I just want a good balance of new cars and weathered cars, because the whole purpose of the vehicles is to use them with my dioramas. So also, I do recommend, if you are looking to do 1:64 scale scenes for pictures, don't use the Greenlight people. This is a Greenlight figure here. You can see he has the big plastic black base. And also, he's a plastic figure. These figures here are die-cast metal. They are made by American Diorama. They stand up on their own. The detail is quite a bit better than Greenlight. And I think it's like $15 shipped for a packet of these. And you get between 3 and 6 figures per package, depending on which one you get. Personally, I have the Car Meet 1 and I have Lowriders 2. And I'm thinking I'm getting ready to buy Car Meet 2. So, anyways, there you go. You guys have a good day. And I will holler at the next diecast video.